This is Hamzambo family, welcome to the 54 Correspondence Show on the Black Far Network Media for the 21st century. I hope that you are doing fantastic on the 7th day of September, the year 2021. I hope that everything is coming along just fine for you and your family. And this is yet another interesting broadcast where we embark on African news and African updates. We purpose to give you an objective image of the content of Africa. There has been a previous reporting about the content of Africa, and that previous reporting has been mostly biased. You will find the stories of Africans being told in a biased kind of a way. But right here on the 54 Correspondence Show, we hope to set the record straight and also report with objectivity on different matters, whether it be social economic affairs, whether it be political affairs, whether be it environmental affairs, whatever aspect of like that we are reporting from the African continent, we purpose to do it with objectivity and also to show you the the rightful image of the content of Africa. And we do get to cover different countries. Sometimes we have not been able to cover all of the countries. For example, we have not had news and updates from Sahrawi, and some people do not even recognize Sahrawi as a country. Ask Morocco. You will find Sahrawi, which is also known as Western Sahara, not being recognized by some governments on the continent of Africa. Some people might tell you that this should be the 55 Correspondence Show, but it's actually 54 Correspondence because the nation of Sahrawi is really not recognized by some other, by some other different countries on the continent of Africa. And that is why we remain with our 54 correspondence, because we tackle the 54 countries on the continent of Africa. We also do have some countries that have not made it majorly on the continent, on the show. These include Seychelles. You will find also Sao Tome and Principe. You will also find Mauritius. These are some of the countries that are island countries of the coast of the Indian Ocean, or even the other different oceans on the West African side. So we do not purpose to hide, the truth from those particular countries. It's only that sometimes they do not. There's not a lot of news coming from those island countries. I just talked about Sao Tome and Principe. If you do get to ask me what's going on right now in Sao Tome and Principe, I might not know. But if this was actually a movie, or if this was a soap opera, then you will find Nigeria featuring a lot. Then you would also find South Africa featuring a lot, and also Kenya and Ghana as well. These are some of the countries in which you will find a lot of news coming from these states: Kenya, South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Ethiopia. And there is a reason as to why these particular countries are always abuzz with news, all abuzz with activities. And that is why we purpose to come on the 54 Correspondence Show and also shed light on what is happening in this country. There has also been a country that has not made it to the news for a minute, but recently, as recent as last weekend, there was an incident that did take over. It's not just an incident, but this is a coup that was conducted in the West African nation of Guinea. Guinea was a former French colony, and we have talked about what is the kind of a devastation that has been seen, political devastation, if I might call it, that has been seen in these former French colonies. There has been a lot of coups. The same happened to Mali. Last year, there was a military coup in Mali. And even till today, I do believe the military junta has a hold of power in Mali. And so the same has happened, even with Guinea. There are many mixed reactions that have come up from the country of Guinea. Some people really very happy in the streets about the removal of the former president, who was known as Alpha Conde. Alpha Conde has been in power for a minute, and he also won another term recently, which was very much controversial. The people did say that wasn't, that was a sham. That was a sham of an election. It wasn't really free, neither was it fair. So there have been a lot of mixed reactions. Some people saying that is not the way they should have gotten rid of him. They should have been a better process. The matters should have been handled a little bit better. But some people also, for example, the opposition leader in Guinea has also called this particular move the right move for the removal of Alpha Conde, who was seen to be arrested by these military that did take over the country. So I will share with us some videos so that you can see the kind of a mood and the atmosphere after the removal of that president who was seen to be a dictator in the DRC, sorry, not in the DRC, I want to say the DRC, in Guinea. Let me share with us so that you can see how the excitement was in the streets. The problem is you might as well go and celebrate, but it's too early to celebrate because you're celebrating the removal of one president only for you to have another president brought in who is almost the same as, the new boss, same as the old boss. So it's too early to celebrate.
Sunday, after some Guineans took to the streets to congratulate soldiers who detained President Alpha Conde following up. These were the scenes of celebration on the streets of Conakry Sunday after some Guineans took to the streets to congratulate soldiers who detained President Alpha Conde following hours of heavy gunfire. Mutilated soldiers in the West African nation then announced on state television that the government had been dissolved in an apparent coup d'etat. We are happy. We are here to show our joy because we suffered a lot over time. With the time, God showed us someone who is more powerful than him. Above all, is patience. We have been patient. I am very happy. We went out for the joy. We are very happy with what we had and what we saw. The Guinean will still live to celebrate this historic moment, but the question still lingers on how the next government will be formed and its legality. Already the United Nations, the ECOWAS, and countries like France have condemned the coup d'etat. Guinea now follows countries like Zimbabwe, Mali, and Sudan, where military have directly participated on direct power seize.
And if you can get to see what these men and women are talking about, you could see them in a celebratory mode right there. These are a little bit of the same as well. You can see these are the young people really going out in the streets with songs and very happy. But the problem is they have no idea what happens next, because the military junta led by one colonel has said that they will be forming, they will be putting together another government, but it might be the same kind of government that they have moved from to, and now they will be stepping into another kind of unknown. These are people celebrating in the streets after the ouster of the former president. He goes for the name Alpha Conde, and Alpha Conde was really voted in for another term, which was really controversial because people did say that he did not win that particular vote, but he still had his way of actually rigging it and getting into power once again. This is a president I'm talking about. Let me share this real quick. But you can see the man that we are talking about in the nation of Guinea. There are three countries, like I have said always in in Africa that goes by the name Guinea. We do have Guinea Bissau, we do have Guinea, and we also do have Equatorial Guinea. So that is what is happening right there. And this is a man you all see sometimes back. This was in a time where he was welcoming the president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame. Paul Kagame had a tour. The two of them can be seen on this particular video. And these are leaders. It might also happen in other different countries. Let me also share these. This was way back in 2016 when you do see Alpha Conde on next to Paul Kagame. Paul Kagame is quite tall, but you can see him here after Paul Kagame did make a visit to Conakry in Guinea, and he has been in power. He was trying to get. He had actually gotten another at that time, which was really also unconstitutional. But the military, I think, at some point have also gotten tired. But I would not really, like I said, I would not really like to celebrate way too early. It's way too early for the people of Guinea to be celebrating anything, because they do not know. They are getting from one known into another unknown. Sometimes people in Africa are afraid to make the change because they do say it's better the devil that you know than the angel that you do not know. It is one of the things that people hold on to even when it comes to political change on the continent of Africa, because right now they will be stepping into an unknown right there with the government. I think most of these armies that you will see, all the military, most of them, if you compare to European or Western military, you will find as an African continent lacking in military superiority, because there is also the underfunding of these military. Not just the underfunding, but there are also other different challenges.
For this shopkeeper,
this was him also being sworn in. Alpha Conde
is another step back for democracy in his home country, Guinea. Mustafa Baldé looks concerned as he watches the head of Guinea's constitutional court praise the 86-year-old president's eagerness to take on a third term. He says he's not duped and has kept a tally of all that has gone wrong since Condé came to power 10 years ago, from tweaking the constitution to allow him to stay in power to rampant corruption and arresting opponents. In a country rich in minerals like gold and bauxite, most Guineans are trapped in poverty. Baldé says Condé is failing his people.
At the beginning, we thought Alpha Condé would bring us hope, but he has shown us his true colors. He has disappointed us, he doesn't respect the constitution, and he exercises control of everything. People are scared of him. They are either getting arrested or killed.
After his victory was announced in October, the military fired live bullets at protesters and went house to house, detaining mostly people from the Fulani ethnic group who support opposition candidate Cellou Dalein Diallo. He believes Condé rigged the elections and says he won the vote. The inauguration is taking place as protests are being held. Gathered during the ceremony are a number of aging African heads of state who, like Condé, have changed their country's constitution to stay in power. Outside of Baldé's shop are young African migrants from various French-speaking African countries. All of them share this common feeling that they've left behind nations led by aging presidents clinging on to power, robbing their nation's wealth and leaving young people without jobs, opportunities, and the space and freedom to express their political views. At Dakar's Museum of Black Civilization, the activists from across the continent have gathered to warn of a dangerous trend of civil liberties being stifled and governments muffling democracy and freedom of expression. Among those taking part is Ibrahima Diallo, an outspoken critic of Condé. Condé's government has issued an international arrest warrant against him.
Il utilise la pandémie coronavirus.
We have seen the nation state use the global coronavirus pandemic as an excuse to restrict individual and collective freedoms of citizens, banning protest when these do not suit government. This pandemic is benefiting autocratic regimes.
The borders between Guinea and Senegal are closed. Balde is unable to return home to his family, and with the inauguration of Alpha Conde, he fears there will be more trouble ahead. Nicholas Hawk.
That is a little bit of what was happening sometimes back when he was sworn in. The kind of an atmosphere that was in the nation was that of fear. You know, you find people not being even able to speak out and share that their opinions regarding the different governments in their own countries, because they know they will either get arrested or they might even actually go missing after they have been killed because of the extrajudicial killings in countries such as this. Where someone can only speak out against the Alpha Conde. But right now, people are dancing in the streets. Like I did share a little bit of that. People were out there making a jubilation because they do understand that Alpha Conde is now gone. He is an old leader who did get to play around and also meddle with the constitution so that he could make sure that he was vying for another term. That is not just unique in Guinea, but it has also been done by other different old leaders on the African continent that have actually gone and maneuvered around the constitution and made some changes, or enforced some changes to the constitution to make sure that they can be allowed for another extra term or some other 2 terms. It did happen also with Rwanda. In Rwanda, they had the change of a constitution to allow for Paul Kagame to run for a couple of more years, and they were saying, "No, Paul Kagame is different because they want him there. He has a track record and all these other things." But we'll not speak much on it, but we all know that these leaders will go to any lengths to make sure that they are trying to change the constitution so that it can suit them and their own personal ambitions of holding on to power for as long as they could do that. Anyhow, I want to move away from that and go into matters of the day. Today we are discussing about the important issue of land reforms in South Africa, and it's really, really important that we get to address this particular matter, because for a very long time there hasn't been the matter of this particular issue of land reform has not really been looked into, and I want to go into that. I will share with us briefly on what has been happening for land reform in South Africa and why it's one of the really, really most serious matters, because we do have the white minority in South Africa and we do have the black majority in South Africa. And for the black majority, they really not have ownership on the land, but you will find the Dutch and everyone else right there in South Africa owning land in big chunks. And because of this land injustice, there has also been people not feeling as if they are in their own home. They have been a place where they feel like they are foreigners in their own home. But let me share these real quick so that we can get to understand a little bit more of what is happening through the eyes of the farmers.
The government now considering a constitutional change that would allow it to expropriate land from white farmers without paying for it.
Parliament is here to listen to you.
In town hall meetings such as this, members of parliament have been giving South Africans an opportunity to voice their opinions about the proposed legislation. Today on Talk to Al Jazeera, we sit down with 2 farmers, Shimi Jonas Mokoko and Leon Borchards, to get their personal views on this difficult subject.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Mokoko, and welcome to Talk to Al Jazeera.
You're welcome.
You have had experience at the Land Bank in South Africa specifically, and decades ago you made the move to farming. Why?
Farming, for me, that has been in my blood, and it's in the family. And with the challenges of grading farmers in South Africa, I've seen that it's time opportune for us Black people to come into farming. And I wanted to make a difference.
One of the easiest way to access farming, I imagine, was through what the government implemented in terms of its land reform program. How did that work for you?
Land reform in terms of redistribution. Sometimes in 2007, I approached the office of the department where I was looking for land. Fortunate enough, I have settled for land in the Vaal. It is a good area because of its rainfall compared to where I was before. Fortunately, the redistribution program, it's somehow helping us. It's good, but there are some flops. So we need, this is a journey, we need to go on and solve these problems.
And what is your agreement with the government? What has it allowed? How is it allowed for successes with regard to your farming?
Yes, our government gave us gave me a lease of 30-year period, and which is a sufficient period for one to get up and get to be commercialized.
And if you lease the land, you don't own it. Are there challenges in terms of securing funding?
You're very, very, very right. The lease agreement, it's limiting us as farmers. We needed to have title deeds.
I'm Nick Nimmin, and I'm a StreamYard user. For the last 6 years, I've been live streaming consistently.
Title deeds will help us with as we are approaching the banks to access fund, because the banks are in need of security and collateral. Therefore, it's a disadvantage for farmers to have a 30-year lease program.
What have you done to try and overcome those challenges? You need resources, you need capital to run the farm, to grow your business. What have you done to overcome some of the challenges because of the lack of ownership?
I have approached banks. I've approached agribusinesses. Fortunate enough, through my at the background of my credit record, I managed to secure loans. But the most loans that I've been securing are production loans, because the banks and agribusiness, they want to secure their funds in terms of a long-term or a medium-term assistance from agribusinesses. Therefore, it's a time for our government to step in. They have stepped in, but it's not enough. The
government really, even if he talks about the government having stepped in, and it's very, very literal that has been done in regards to that. But nonetheless, let me also continue sharing more with this.
Hasikoma applied to rent land from the government 10 years ago under the Land Redistribution Program. He's one of a few black... Klenyan Hasikoma applied to rent land from the government 10 years ago under the Land Redistribution Program. He's one of a few black commercial farmers in a country where whites still own most of the land. He recently became the...
This is in South Africa, where most of the farming land is owned by white people. And you're talking about independence and freedom. How do you have independence and freedom without owning ownership to the land? And you will not even go to these banks and have a loan with the lease, because you have to own ownership. You have to have a title deed for you to be able to use that as collateral.
First black man to win the Cattle Farmer of the Year competition. Making the transition from communal to commercial farming hasn't been easy, he says, and he knows of other black people who failed to make their farms profitable.
Land reform is good, but we should be careful. It has happened sometimes. We do not want a situation where our country runs out of food because farmers are not producing enough.
Hasikoma knew if he was going to succeed, he needed help. So he contacted Soy Haman, one of several farmers teaching new black farmers how to apply for a loan and run their farms as businesses. Starting off with 2 cows, now he has 200.
So it was very important to me to guide them so that they can start doing everything themselves. What you see here, this crop.
Leaders of the African National Congress say that's a huge difference, and land reform isn't happening fast enough. The ruling party says the willing buyer, willing seller scheme to redistribute land isn't working. That's why some ANC members are proposing land expropriation.
This is the most corrupt Jacob Zuma with his choir and his song. You know, he's always singing and doing some other corrupt stuff. And you know, he could care less about the redistribution of our land to black people, who should have been one of the main agendas. Even after Nelson Mandela, you know, came into power, he did do nothing for the distribution of land. Neither did Jacob Zuma, neither has Cyril Ramaphosa. This is just another story, a lot of the articles.
Without compensation, when necessary and unavoidable. They insist violent land grabs seen in neighboring Zimbabwe won't happen in South Africa. Not everyone agrees.
It's extremely reckless to engage in this kind of rhetoric at this stage in our economic development. I mean, let the economy grow before we even discuss redistribution.
This is some utter nonsense. You will find one of them Zungus are talking about let the economy grow before we get back these people their land. But this was land that was taken over from Africans, and now they are being denied the ownership over this. And also, I think we have talked about the matter of having to repay these people these Mzungus that took the land of the Africans. Why are you repaying them? They did not pay the Africans when they were taking up this land. They just came and took it away from, for example, the coast in South Africa. Different land was taken from them forcibly, so no one really got to pay any penny. Why then do you have to pay back any money when you're taking back this land, which was initially stolen from the people of South Africa? It doesn't make any sense. But you'll still find Mzungu like this continue making his rhetoric over what should be done and what should be done, even after they have stolen this land.
Because at this stage, if we're going to pursue equality in this manner, we're all going to end up equally poor.
The poor are angry at the slow pace of transformation. It's been more than 20 years since white minority rule ended. Until South Africa addresses the land problem, Klenyan Hasikoma says he'll try and mentor as many black farmers as he can. It's a small way of trying to balance out South Africa's commercial farming landscape.
And you can see that is a bit of a problem that not even a bit, it's a very, very big problem that we do have right there. And these are there's a new bill that was passed recently, which of course speaks into the land reforms, the expropriation of the land without having to pay back those Mzungu farmers that had stolen the land in the first place. So let me play this.
The ad hoc committee amending Section 25 of the Constitution to allow for land expropriation without compensation has been granted. Amending Section 25 of the Constitution to allow for land expropriation without compensation has been granted an extension until next Friday. The committee was expected to meet today to adopt the proposed draft of the 18th Constitutional Amendment Bill. The main opposition party, the Democratic Alliance, has reiterated that it won't support any bill.
And now we hope that everyone can be able to see what is happening now with this bill. There has been the ad hoc bill that has been signed to allow the expropriation of the land without having to pay for that.
Let's discuss this with the DA's caucus chairperson, Annelie Lotried. Annelie, thank you so much for making time. So did the committee meet today? Have you amended this draft bill?
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to the viewers. Yes, we did meet. In fact, we only finished the meeting about 5 minutes ago. And what happened is that we had to adopt or reject the bill clause by clause. And as this is still a committee process, it means that it only needs a majority, a simple majority, for it to be adopted. So this afternoon, the amendment bill was adopted by, at some point, 5 members in favor and 3 members against. At one point, it was 6 in favor, 3 against, but it is obviously the opposition who are opposed to the amendment bill.
Yeah, so help me understand the differences here, because as a committee, you discussed the second draft bill, and then there was the third one. What's the difference between the two?
Okay, well, we started off with the first draft, and that was sent out for public comment, written comments, as well as oral comments. Then a second revision.
What did happen with this whole situation? You will find that in the neighboring country, which is Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe under the reign of Robert Mugabe, who was the president of that particular country. He took over the land, but there was also some implications with that, because he took over the land from these white, the Mzungus, and redistributed that land to black people who are the original owners of this particular land. But because of that, there was a lot of implications. There was so many sanctions. I call it economic terrorism. There was a lot of sanctions imposed on Zimbabwe, you know, and it got to a point where the currency also, you know, the economy was doing so bad, but at least they had redistributed this land back to the black people, the original people, all the people of Zimbabwe. But that is not to be said of South Africa. In South Africa, they are very, very shy. You know, they are very, very shy with this. And Jerome Skrew is saying they are leasing the land. Yes, you are leasing the land, but the white people own it. And for them, they don't have to lease it. And those are the wealthiest looking cows I've seen, for healthiest looking cows I've seen for a while. Yes, they are, and that is a commercial farming. I do believe in Southern Africa, for example, if you go to Botswana, in Botswana, there's a lot of wonderful beef farming in Botswana. I will share with that a little bit later on. But what is happening is that there has been a big problem of land reform in South Africa, and I want to continue sharing more on this before the people of South Africa really wake up and demand back their land, because that is very, very much important. It's a factor of production. Without land, I don't know how you will be producing anything, but they should be fighting for this and getting it back real quick. You know, the government will not deliver, but there has to be a change.
Land reform. It's a thorny issue here in South Africa. Everybody's worried about it. Those that don't have it want it now. Those that do have it are afraid to lose it. And the government is in a corner. The question is, how will it make good on a promise made more than to provide me into crisis?
Well, they have
Gift Mafuleka has called home since 2009. A dream come true for a young farmer from KZN.
I was born and raised in the Zululand, KZN, in a town called Mbangeni, in the rural areas there by my late grandfather and my grandmother, who were subsistence farmers and small-scale sugarcane farmers. I was raised by them because my mother used to work away from her home when I was young. That's when I got inspired, and that's when I picked up farming as a career of choice for me. At that time, I was more interested on just farming, and just producing food at a more modern way, because I saw their struggles and I wanted to improve their way of farming, and that's when I got inspired.
Government bought this land under the Land Redistribution Program from a large-scale food manufacturer. Gift had worked this land for the company for 5 years after studying agriculture at college. He applied and was selected to take over a 5-year lease with the option of renewal.
So this is people getting lease over their land. You're given 5-year lease, 10-year lease. You do not really have, the right to own this land.
That's dumb as shit. He's getting his land with a lease, and they had to buy the land back that the white man stole. Is this a victory? No, it's not. And who's the moron narrating this goofy shit? And just all like it's just normal for Africans to have to buy back their own shit and then buy back the land that the government bought back for them. What the hell? How is this a victory for African people? That land was stolen.
And it was actually being run by these companies, these big farming. They're like ranches. These ranches and other big companies are owned by the white people. And they used to have, the one not bought actually, it was land stolen from the African, put into large-scale farming. And when this large-scale farming was being done, the crop was being exported into Europe. It wasn't going to the benefit of the South African in any kind of a way. So you find that
the land in Europe sucks. It's glaciated. The land in Europe is glaciated soil. So they come to Africa, put farms, and send all the damn all the food back to their people in Europe.
So what is happening right now is that the government is working on a bill that will allow for the taking back of the land that was taken by the Mzungu without having to compensate for that. But you will hear one of these crazy Mzungus saying, no, this is not the way it should be done. It should actually be taken very, very considerably slowly. You can see
it's always the same shit with them. It's always slowly. It should be taken slowly. They never took the land slowly from the African. It came in and knocked the African in the head. Said, "Give me the goddamn land, African." Everything's supposed to be slowly. Everything for them giving back shit is always slowly. That means it never happens. That's the whole shit. That's the whole scam they always do. It's supposed to be slowly. How's it supposed to be? Oh, in another 300 years when we're all dead. People did, then you can have your land back 300 years from now. Slowly.
This Mzungu here looks like a retard, but he still wants to keep the land. He looks like a retard. Let me play this.
It's extremely reckless to engage in this kind of rhetoric at this stage in our economic development. I mean, let the economy grow before we even discuss redistribution.
Let the economy grow. It ain't no redistribution. Let's give the land back to the people. Redistribution of the land, redistribute. You redistribute the land when you got your white ass there. He's going back to his rightful role. So that's not accepting. So don't accept their words. Their narrative is always bullshit. Let's not accept redistribution. It ain't redistribution. It's called justice. You redistribute the land to yourself. So what we're doing, we're giving the land back to its rightful owners. So spare me with all them dumbass words you say. That's not before the economy redistribute. The economy never benefited black people. So spare me with the economy talk too. The economy. Let's go back to the economy. Black people in abject poverty in South Africa. You want to tell me about some fucking economy? Fuck out of here. That economy didn't benefit nobody black. Let's not talk about redistribution. Talk about the economy. The economy of white people controlling everything. That's how it should be. We go slowly. Go ahead, can't shit.
If you listen to him carefully, what he's worried about most is poverty. He's not even worried about anything else. What he's worried about most is poverty, and you can hear him here. Let me share. You can. That is what he's most.
Their history. They know they were impoverished before they got Africa. The cracker was always impoverished. All these lies. Oh, we were always rich, and you Africans were dirty and poor. Okay, they go back to Europe then. If we were dirty and poor, don't you give up our land? You go back to Europe where you're so rich at. Oh no, we don't want to do that.
He says you can listen to him, and he says if the land is taken back, it will make actually everyone poor, even them. You can listen to him very, very categorical. He says
to engage in this kind of rhetoric at this stage in our economic development. I mean, let the economy grow before we even discuss.
Economy grow.
If we're gonna pursue equality in this manner, we're all gonna end up equally poor.
Says we're all gonna end up equally poor. So for him, it's about the land being taken back and them having to go back to power.
The African had, before the white man came up, the African had the land. He was just starving and poverty. He didn't know how to feed himself. Until we showed up, the African was starving in South Africa. Oh, first I thought you said the African wasn't even there. You guys got there, and then the African showed up. That was your narrative first. So how could they be starving if they wasn't even there? The lies you tell are crazy. Black people, if you try to negotiate with these crackers are terrorists naturally. They're insane. You take the land back because they took it from you. They're asking no questions. Get out of here. Give my damn land. Shut up.
The problem is the people they do have sitting in those chairs are sitting in those positions to make the decisions. These are white people as well, and you will see from these as well.
Yeah, to adapt the opposed constitutional amendment bill. The main opposition party, the Democratic Alliance, has reiterated that it won't support any bill to amend Section 25 of the Constitution. We've discussed this with the DA's caucus Annalie.
You're gonna use the white man system of government to get your land back is idiotic. And did the white man have a black man on the council when he was stealing from you? Oh, of course not. There wasn't nobody black giving their opinion when they were stealing the land from black people. But now you're gonna have white people advising you about getting your land back. That's only the African does this dumb shit over and over again. Only African. Only the African. Somebody steals some land from somebody, they don't ask no white people. You think when they get Hong Kong back from the white people in China, hey, white people, sit on the commission with us while we get Hong Kong back that you stole. They said, fuck that. That's our land. You stole it 100 years ago. It's our shit, and we're getting it back. Why? Did the white people get mad? Yes. Did the Chinese give a shit? Fuck no. Fuck them. You're not going to just be taking our land and think that's going to be the thing that you do. And then I got to negotiate with you about getting my land back. It's mine. And I'm taking it back.
So it's like, it's going to ask them, it's going to ask a white daddy, should we take back the land from you without paying you? And then expecting them, yes, you can have the land and you don't have to pay us and we will leave it to you, just like that. That is a problem with the African. For Zimbabwe, I was saying earlier, Zimbabwe took back the land with the Mugabe. When Mugabe was a bit younger, they took back the land and they gave it back to black people. And then there was a lot of economic terrorism, which is
and then the terrorism started. Exactly right. It took back the land. And started. Then all of Europe put sanctions. I told you, these crackers don't see themselves as no different tribe and all that dumb African shit. They don't do the dumb African shit. Oh, these are different tribes and all. They see them as crackers like them, and they go into immediate action because it's a threat to white supremacy. They go into immediate, from America to England to France to all of them get on code, and they got on code to crush Zimbabwe for getting the land back.
They put up so much. They put up so much sanctions on Zimbabwe. They had to print even $1 trillion notes. You know, the economy was so bad. They had to print even $1 trillion.
That's because you had Mugabe, who was a moron, who did not. Everything he needed in Africa, all he had to do was train his people, and he could have survived it. But he's a moron. All you had to do was train your people. The country flourished before white people got there. You wasn't in starvation. You wasn't all messed up. So you say, okay, if I survived before white people got here, how did we survive? What allowed us to survive?
That is an important question, but this is what is happening. Let me play a little bit more.
Clauses included that were, well, we felt was outside of the mandate of what the committee was supposed to do and the instruction given to it.
White people always say everything is outside the mandate. It's outside the mandate, and that means these niggas are not supposed to get anything. Outside the mandate of us giving them anything. Why do we got to give these niggas anything? It's outside the mandate.
And without land, which is an important factor of production. You cannot have production without land. It's an important factor of production.
For public comment, written comment. And then last week, we were surprised. We received a third version, which included things from the public comments, the last set of public comments, which were also, it was very strange because that was not what was asked for. So all those additions in the third version was rejected by the committee. So we dealt with, let's say, the second version.
So it's always going to be rejected by them giving their shit back and giving back the land that they stole. It's always going to be controversial, black people. You get that? Always going to be controversial. It's controversial. And we decide not to do that. We're straight to a white person. And African is sitting there all calm. I got my land and I have to now pay a fine, a fee every year to sit on the land that the white people stole from me, and I learned to farm. And that's, man, the docility in black people is crazy. The docility. So Dr. Muhammad said, we're changed, we're not as the docility. That's how you know you're the same people. You'll hear the same talk like that in Kenya. You'll hear that same talk like that in Nigeria, Ghana, and okay, where the fuck you at? If I'm African with the same docility talk, you don't know you're the same people. You'll see the same docile talk. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You both say, this is my land, they stole it, and I'm not paying the government shit.
It's an ancestral land, but you will find them talking about the ancestral land. Even Amazon bought some of that ancestral land without giving a shit because the money they paid for it. And I was saying that this is a Democratic Alliance. This is a DA. This woman is speaking from the DA. The DA is the White People's Party, the Democratic Alliance, and we also do have the ANC.
White people, exactly, their party. I don't know these Africans can't farm. They'll kill us all. These no good dirty blacks. They can't farm. But what they farming before you people showed up? Yeah, but you know they wouldn't do it the right way because it was not in control of the shit. Well, there was no starving in Africa. Nobody starved. Your history no one was starving in Africa. They know how to farm. Well, because they just got lucky for thousands of years. Now we came in and we stole their land, and now things are better. Better for who? Better for us. It's good that these niggas stay impoverished and don't know how to do shit. It's better for us. That's why we must go slow.
I'm saying until there's consequences, then these will not change. Let me put it more the same.
Yeah.
On this particular issue, what are the chances that this bill
exactly right, Jim Mosquito? The naivety is real. It's continent wide. Everybody asks me, Keith, what's with the naivety? Listen, man, I asked the same question. People say, what's wrong with the African? You'll see him in Ghana talking fucking stupid. You'll see him in Kenya talking fucking stupid. You'll see his ass in South Africa talking stupid. And you guys ask me what's going on. I asked y'all what the fuck is going on with the African. It's like he's mentally retarded. Shit is crazy to me, man.
See Section 25 of the Constitution being changed. I mean, they've been disagreeing with the EFF on so many issues. It doesn't look like they've got the support that they need to go ahead with this plan.
Yes, indeed, it doesn't look like it, and it was now the third meeting.
It's gonna be constant disagreement. That's how they never resolve that. You dumb African. That's the scam. They're never gonna resolve it. Oh, we're just disagreeing. You've been disagreeing for the last, it'd be 200 years, the same shit with their generations to come. Yes, we're still working it out. We're still disagreeing. But then you've been working this out for 200 years. I know, we're just taking our time. And now we're gonna agree, African, to giving back what they stole from you. Good God. It's crazy.
So you will not, freedom is not for free. No one will likely go on the table and give you freedom. Unless you claim it by power, then there is nothing like, these people agreeing with anything. This bill might be there for the next 200 years. The bill might be going through.
That's what it would do, right? Because it's not supposed to have a pass. That's the whole thing. Well, we're working it out. Every year, but we're working it out. We're trying. They're not agreeing. They're never going to agree to them giving you your land back, dummy. That's why power doesn't have to damn ask. It just takes and say, hey, it's my shit. And what you going to do about it? That's what, when the Chinese got powerful enough to take back their own country, did they ask the British, hey, British, can we please have Hong Kong back? When they got it back, they says, shit. And now Britain be talking about, hey, we signed an agreement that you're going to do Hong Kong like this. The Chinese said, kick rocks, motherfucker. You ain't make no agreement with us to tell us how to do shit with our goddamn land. It's our shit. And you can keep making many goddamn dumbass petitions you want about how to run Hong Kong. This is our shit. We're strong enough to take it back, and we don't have to listen to your ass about no petitions of what we should do about it. Shit.
Yeah.
Only Africans still weak making petitions and talking, you know, it's not really good that you'll get your land back. It's not good that we must take our time and do it slowly. Goddamn! Nelson Mandela got out of jail 30 years ago. How slow that was 30 years ago. How slow we gotta go? Well, we gotta go another 130 more. Just to do resolution after resolution after resolution.
The resolution really will never do nothing, you know. General Mosquito says, no, it's in a non-negotiable. And Sister Liberia, you said hi, family. Hi to you too. I hope that you all doing well. I remember the family talking about Sister Lightbearer's request on Sunday.
That song she did, yeah, yesterday we were talking about her. Yeah. Her first request, that the White Pony was good. It was that second, her last request. That song was horrible.
She was jamming. She was jamming. It's probably one of our songs. So she was jamming. Enjoying it. It was a request anyhow. Sister Liberia is saying a psychotic on this planet, and also the naivety is real. And Sister Liberia also saying in America, also Keith, look at the Aboriginals are here, and you know, land was taken from them, and
land was taken, never getting back. Everywhere they gone. I just hear it. Yeah, black people ain't taking all land and never giving it back. Australia, they never gave that land back to them people. Tasmania, hell, they just took the land and just killed everybody. That's been and it's all these are these people, the genocidal, homicidal maniacs. Everywhere they've gone. New Zealand. You think New Zealand was a white country? No, they stole the land.
That is what was going on. But nonetheless, I want to share just one highlight, which is of South Africa. And I'm talking about this actor. He has been founded, Michael K. Williams. He has been founded in his apartment in New York. I don't know really exactly what did happen to him, but
we were talking about yesterday. He said he died of a drug overdose. He was always on Light Bear song. He was on the white horse. White horse, cocaine. If you wanna ride, don't ride the white horse. White horse needs cocaine spikes, like pony.
Yeah, I know the meaning of that. And Bodoka Empire, he was on Bodoka Empire, and also the why he was founded at 54 years, and probably maybe he had some challenges going on for him, and maybe he was not able to cope well.
Even though he did heroin and cocaine, the heroin and cocaine caused COVID. He died of COVID.
The HBO said in a statement, a member of the HBO family for more than 20 years, while he's aware of his immense talent as an artist, we knew Michael as a dear friend, and that is him. That is
he was on the Wire, and he's on that damn Boardwalk Empire too, if I remember. You know, I never looked at that shit.
And also a couple. He also acted in acclaimed films, including Inherent Vice, 12 Years a Slave, Baby Gone, Baby Gone, and The Road. Those are some other different shows that he has also acted on. I didn't know he was on 12 Years a Slave. I can't remember seeing him on there, although it has been a minute since I saw 12 Years.
But you know, wait, just go back and look for slaves. You'll see him walking around in the field. I'm sure he didn't play the master part, Spike. I'm sure he didn't play the master part.
He was there picking cotton. He must have been the guy at the far end, at the far right, picking the cotton. Right. That's right. That is why I missed him on that.
That's right.
I missed him on that particular show.
He's one holding the Peter to go. He's one holding the Peter. Don't you talk back to them white people. They'll kill you, girl. Don't you do it.
It might have been the guy also working like what do we call these what do you call the guy who was having a jungle, who was also trying to have a jungle stay silent. But yes, that was Mike. These are Michael K. Williams, and he has passed on our condolences to him, and also he is a fan that I think he did have a problem with that. I guess he was a slave. It's funny, but not really funny. Stephanie Bosman, you were saying free ozone, and I haven't seen Stephanie Bozeman for a second. I hope that you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast, even as we wind up. That was a silly question to speak. I was saying I don't remember him making, having a grand appearance on that. So he was probably, you're right. he was a slave somewhere there. That is just me thinking, did I ever see him on that?
He's walking around with a pick and a shovel or something. Walking around with some gloves to pick that cotton. He's no good bastard. Wouldn't even give you gloves to pick cotton. Cotton got all kind of thorns and shit and that shit. Oh God, these evil bastards, how you picking cotton with your hands all tore up.
Anyway,
evil ass bastards.
As we wind up, there is someone on Candy's Owen's show who was actually saying that the people who did lose slaves are owed reparations, and this was one of the politicians. He goes by the name of Larry Elder. He was arguing that slave owners are owed reparations because they did lose their stock, or they did lose their
That's how wicked. That's how wicked. These people will argue for evilness and wickedness. They lost their human beings are not stock, you wicked evil bastards. But they deserve to have reparations because they lost their human beings that they were beating and whipping and raping and getting free labor from. Yes.
Yeah.
That's how wicked. That's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a wicked ass beast. And
no, this is a black man trying to please the master. This is a black man.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's Larry Coon, faggot ass elder. This Coon running for the governor of California. This Coon ass faggot here. This dick sucking ass nigga trying to come out the closet. Larry Elder, come out the closet. Everyone knows you suck dick. It's not a secret. You'll never. Why don't you? You don't want to talk about the LGBTQ, Larry Elders. Everybody knows you suck dick. There's no secret you suck dick. We know you take it in the ass. You know that. But you don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about the slave masters. This nigga's he's always been an old time Bunny Ruckus, coon ass Negro. This nigga's been a coon for 50 years.
Now he has a coon. Yeah, he has a master's in cooning. He has a PhD or whatever level of.
He's been cooning for the master Spikes. They love this. Spike. You don't know the name. White people know Larry Elder. They love that coon. That nigga's been cooning for crackers for 50 years. And you asked me, what about the docility? Go ahead.
No, I'm saying this goes hand in hand with Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker is also another one who has you would be talking. These are kind of a crazy talk, and he is also doing a lot of campaigning for himself. Herschel Walker's empty campaign calendar sparks a concern amongst Georgia Republicans. Herschel Walker, we have talked about him, and he was also against. He was also against reparations. He was also against reparations at the end of the day. But for anyone saying that
those are coons. Those are coons. Yeah. See, Larry Elder's got some common sense, right? So they'll let him. I mean, now you don't have any common sense. You got a little intelligence. Herschel Walker's a moron. So they don't. Herschel Walker just says, ain't they putting front of him? Herschel Walker's a fucking moron. He's an idiot. He's a buffoon. He cooning, probably ain't know he cooning. He's so fucking stupid. But Larry Elders know he cooning. He know what he's doing.
You were saying Larry Elder was saying that an argument could be made in the favor of reparations for slave owners whose legal property was taken from them after their civil war. So their legal property was taken away from them, and that is why Larry Elder says that they deserve reparations, and the reparations should be going to these slave owners because their property was taken away from them. And he noted that slave owners and their estates are all owed compensation for the human property they lost following the end of the Civil War and the passage of the 13th Amendment, which partially abolished slavery after 1865. These two of them are going the same. They are in the same boat. Also with, what do you call these other coon? Terry Crews. You know, these are the top generals when it comes to Kunina. Terry Crews as well. I have seen Terry Crews doing all sorts of things and throwing black people under the bus. Any other second they call him, the master calls him to do that. He does it with a lot of pleasure. Terry Crews, and also these are Herschel Walker and Larry.
I said because remember you were talking about the Taliban and has he lead Afghanistan, you know, to the people.
Come again? Yeah. You're really breaking up.
Taliban, right?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Okay, so the Taliban said that they're going to kill those people that were leaving because they were traitors.
Yeah.
Africa never handles his traitors. They never deal with the traitors. The African hasn't learned the law that you must murder and execute your traitors. That's why their elders are supposed to take the dirt naps. Good.
Yes, I have seen 2 planes. Were there 2 planes yesterday or the day before? 2 planes have been barred from leaving Afghanistan by the Taliban because they did have some of the people are considered as traitors by the Taliban. So therefore, they will be dealing with them. And I understand there was also some Americans on those.
They'll say anything to be the pet of white people. Say anything for some money. I'm going to be governor. I'm not going to look for the black, but I know we've already decimated black people in California. You niggas can't get me in office, so I'm going to say what the white people really want to hear. I'm be honest with the white people. We're supposed to pay you back. Even though you brutalized black people, enslaved them, you're supposed to be compensated. Yes, you're right, you dumb nigga. We'll vote. You're right. You're absolutely right. Because then their true wickedness will come out. They get to be honest with their debauchery and their wickedness. That's who these people are. That's who the fuck they are.
And there are no consequences for doing this, you know, in the black community.
There's no consequences. You couldn't say this about no other group of people except black people. Nobody would accept this shit. He'd be taken out somewhere. They would stalk his ass, find him alone, and somehow a bullet would reach his head, and his head would explode. They said, "Oh, their elders reached a uncertain demise because the bullet reached his head. We don't know who did it. A bullet somehow found its way to his brain."
and that would be the way someone would give him a visit. But that is exactly why we are not moving ahead, even as a black people globally. And nonetheless, we're almost coming close to the end of the 54 Correspondence show. Today we have been discussing about the matter of land reforms, which it makes the headline every other day. Land reforms, but nothing really moves forward.
Every other day. Hey, Spikes, it's the same. It's the same talking about shit, but don't nothing ever change. You gonna talk forever. They've been talking for 30 years, Spikes, about land reform since since another homosexual got his ass out of supposed jail. Nelson Mandela sucking ass. Land reform, my South African brothers. We were talking about the land reform. No one will go to prison. No one will go to prison for the heinous crimes they've committed against black people. We will love them. We will call it the Truth and Reconciliation Council, where we love them for beating and stealing our land. And we will not get nothing and be happy. White people will keep the land and be rich, and we'll be impoverished. But you'll get the vote for me. You'll get the vote for me. Dick sucking Nelson Mandela. Vote for me.
There was a South African brother who took a whip recently, and he was almost getting the land reform right because he was whipping his Mzungu. He was whipping Mzungu, and they were telling him stop being. I don't know what they were telling him. Stop being.
Stop being so aggressive. Stop being. Don't be aggressive, Mister. What was that, Mister Somebody? Don't be aggressive. Don't be aggressive. Man, don't be aggressive. The man was trying to hit me in my mouth and say I stole shit. Don't be aggressive. That's right. You let the white man beat you up and do what he wants to you. That's your nature. Your nature is to let white people beat you in the head and do nothing.
In South Africa, This is South Africa we have. But I want to thank everyone for joining us on the show. Stephanie Bosman, it has been a delight to see you. Sister Lightbearer, thank you so much. And also the brother General Mosquito from the UK, Asante San and Ndugu, for being with us on the broadcast. If you would like to support the stream, you are welcome to do so. You can support the stream with $5, $15.
Time they show an African he's docile. I said, my man, I didn't know what to do, how I did it. And I said, okay, to the government, why they make me pay for the land that they stole from my ancestors. And I said, okay, it's good.
You will have, I was showing us a town recently. It's called the Orania. It's called the Orania in South Africa. I was showing that video of the Orania in South Africa where they do have the white people living in their own independent town. And they own, I bet they own that land in the place that they are staying at, but the Africans
they own it, Spike. They stole it and they own it, and they even made their own fake money up. We're not gonna use no South African nigga money. We're gonna make our own money. That's a crime against the country, Spikes. That wouldn't be tolerated in America. You can't make no other currency in America. The American government would come in and crush your ass. But them, they'll let the white people make their own currency. Only black people would allow that shit. You're supposed to go in and crush them white people. That destroys that destroys the legitimacy of your currency in South Africa, you dummy. You're supposed to go in and crush those people. But the Africans too docile. He said, hey, Ramaphosa, you got some white people over here in whatever kind of goofy land they got, making their own currency. What you gonna do about? I will discuss it with other white people. They told me not to do anything, and I'm not gonna do nothing. But it destroys the validity of South African currency, Ramaphosa. Yes, I know that, but those are white people. I'm not going to do anything because I'm scared. Those are white people.
Or they put him there. They also put him there. That is why
of course. The white people put me there. I'm a puppet. Don't you know? Don't you see my strings, nigga? My strings are attached. I'm a puppet. I'm a little puppet.
The only thing he's lacking is a slave mark. You remember they used to put some hot iron bar, to show the ownership of a slave or the
you're talking about the branding.
Yeah, the branding. Yeah, the only thing that is lacking with these African puppets is the branded marks, but they are.
You can't see it because they got their pants on. They brand them on their butt spikes. They brand them.
anytime puppet is trying to leave, and they are owned, there is that mark which is using an hot iron rod, and it just puts a slave owners.
Right. Let me see your butt, Ramaphosa. Pull down your underwear. Pull down your trousers, Negro. Oh, they're gonna brand right there. It says Rothschild and Rockefellers. There it is. It's R&R. Rothschild Rockefellers. You found me out, you no good nigga. So what? I've got my money. I've got my money. If you pull down Kenyatta's trousers, it'll say R&R. Rothschild Rockefeller. You pull down Buhari's a clone. You pull down his clone trousers. It doesn't make a difference. He's a clone.
You will actually claim you have it wrong because that's a Rolls, not the Rothschild and the Rockefeller. That's a Rolls Royce. That is what Buhari will tell you. Rolls Royce. It's a Rolls Royce.
Why would you put a Rolls Royce tattoo on your ass?
Anyhow, family, thank you so much for being with us on the broadcast.
Let's love, family. Join later on with Spikes and Joe be on whatever show they don't know what show they doing, the Tadili show or the Rhythm show, whatever they doing.
It's a Rhythm right after these, yeah.
Okay. And attach the phone. Like I try to call in, I can never call in no more.
I will. I actually saw that there was a problem with the notification. I'll just actually fix it.
like this is